man or woman will understand that any question, when it's pure, they will feel energetically, they will feel through the words, what do you need?
Today I have with me a very special guest, my husband, Laki Mafi, and he's also a 7-figure founder. The man creating safety is only possible if the woman on the other side is willing to receive his transformation and be in it with him. And this, in my view, is why a lot of relationships don't work, because only one party opts in.
If you ever go into survival mode and all that stuff, I can come in, throw a lifeline in and say, okay, sweet, we got this. So I know where you are, I know where you're at. There's no blame here. There's no I told you so, blah, blah, like you shouldn't have made it to it. It is literally, fuck, sweet. What do we need to get out of here?
Welcome to Unmasked Founders with Leslie Kay. This is the podcast that goes beyond the highlight reel of entrepreneurship. Instead of focusing on the accolades and achievements, this show explores the real moments that shape founders, the challenges, the breakthroughs, and the lessons that transform both the business and the human behind it. Hosted by me, Leslie Kay, an entrepreneur who has built empires and discovered the cost of success. Unmasked Founders is a space for honest conversations about growth, resilience, and staying true to who you are. Whether listeners are just starting out or scaling to the next level, this is where real stories are told. Welcome to Unmasked Founders, a conversation with me, Leslie Kay.
Welcome back to another episode of Unmasked Founders. Today I have with me a very special guest, my husband, Laki Mafi, and he's also a 7-figure founder, father, an amazing husband. And I wanted to bring him on today so we could talk into relationships and building businesses as husband and wife. It's going to be weird to lead this conversation because I much prefer it when you lead, but I really wanted to bring you on to have conversations around, like what it's taken you firstly, like the journey from and I'll let you go into your journey, but your journey from the army and entrepreneurship and relationships that probably weren't supportive of that growth into the evolution of the man with the world's most incredible wife, obviously. But I really want to give people an insight into our lives a little and who we are as individuals and then how we make it work as like the ecosystem of our family.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Wife, it's been a journey and a half to get to this point, to be able to sit here confidently and at ease with what's happening and currently going on within 1, the world, 2, our world, 3, the world of our children. So I don't know where to start, to be honest, but I'll start somewhere in regards to military. So I was with the New Zealand Army for just under 10 years. I was in the infantry. I did 3 operations overseas, 2 to Afghanistan, 1 to East Timor. It was basically, it came about, joining the military came about through the lack of purpose and direction, but also running away from home. Didn't really fit in the lifestyle that I was conditioned to move into. So I ran to the furthest thing possible, which at the time, no one in my family was ever military. So I thought, okay, sweet, this is a good hiding spot. I can go sit and forget and be forgotten and not really exist. Then that's where I met my ex-wife. Then after my second tour to Afghanistan, we came back and we decided to move over here to Perth. And then moving over here to Perth, went into road construction, basically started from the ground up, knew nothing about road construction at all, but I was given the opportunity to start somewhere. So I started from the bottom, cleaning machines for the first 3 months because I had no skill in that aspect, but I started, through cleaning of the machines, I started to pick up how the machines worked, and then that fed into my hunger to know more and want more and be more. So I was with this company for 9 years. COVID kicked in. Challenges were presented, and I opted out for the jab, and I decided to start going my own way in regards to helping other people build their businesses. That was a bit of a journey and a half, and which has led me now to be founder and co-owner of a small road construction company based here in Perth. And through that, I feel like I reached the top of the peak. But before getting there, I had my breakthrough with Sacred Sons in regards to the healing of me. So that kind of brought to life its own path in regards to how I need to show up, and looking at past habits. I said, so this is why I did X, Y, and Z. It was a response to X, Y, and Z trauma, wounding, and all that stuff. So that's when the healing started for me. About 4 or 5 years ago, I started looking into it. Like, I just started asking questions. Once COVID kicked in, that was the turning point for me to ask questions to everything. Being ex-military, a lot of people couldn't understand why I wasn't doing what was being told. But that was a turning point for me to not fuck the system, but question the system.
Talk to me about this decision to Sacred Sons. The podcast is called Unmasked, and I want to give people insight into what was happening internally. And you probably have a lot more awareness now with the knowledge and wisdom that you have. But, from what I know of your story, Sacred Sons was a pivotal point in your evolution to becoming the man that I married. So I would love to give insight to any women who might want their partners to listen to this podcast and be like, oh, that was the catalyst for change. Because from what I understand, you were kind of like going through the motions, living, I guess, unconsciously and playing out these patterns and beliefs of unworthiness and this sort of stuff. And then one day you just decided to do Sacred Sons. So what was some of the conversations with your ex-wife, internally with yourself? What was the ingredients that helped you go, fuck it, I may as well give it a try?
It was always that part of me that needed to please. So my ex-wife did actually suggest that I go. I don't work well with being pushed into something that I don't want to do.
I've noticed.
So she suggested it. I said, no, not for me. Not without looking into anything in what they do. It was the sheer fact that she had told me what to do. And that's like that aversion to authority kind of stuff within me started to kick in. I was up in the mines. I was doing like a 5-6 week stint, and then I just sat back and work had been cancelled for the day. So I was just sitting in my room, little donga, no bigger than this. And that's when I started to shift things in my mind. The self-talk started becoming louder. It's like something needs to move, something needs to shift. It's not about what she asked you to do. It's about what you need to do. So I looked into it and I just booked it straight there and then. I was like, okay, I've been sitting on the fence with this stuff. And before this, I'd started attending men's circles and hearing other men like, we all have the same problems. We just word it differently. And the ability to be able to share in these circles and get the reflections from other men who have moved past certain wounds that we speak into, that was the kicker for me to say, okay, so the work does go deeper than just an understanding, just than reading a book. And that was the catalyst for me just to go all in and see what happens. I can't be any worse. It doesn't get any but I can get better.
So talk to me, just because I want to paint the picture for the people listening. That statement you just made of it can't get any worse. What was life like before you chose to step into this arena and actually confront yourself in this way?
It was exhausting. It was a life purely based on what others approved, which fed into my cup. My cup was and it's obviously a deep wound that I've been working on, and it's never really healed, but is that unworthiness and the lack of purpose. So I needed to feed that wolf through people pleasing and serving others, and it got exhausting. It was numb, it was repetitive, and it was an easy cycle / pattern to kind of stay in, because you knew what was coming, what was expected, and what I could give.
And how was that showing up in your relationships with your daughter, with your ex-wife?
It wasn't showing up. It was more of a show face, going through the motions. There was no real part of me that was showing up to be becoming a better dad. It was going through the motions of what does it look like to the outside world for me to become a better dad. Okay, I go to school stuff. I say I love you. I do certain things that would give off the idea that I am the good partner, the good father. But in reality, it was a mask that was easy to put on and take off when no one was looking.
So talk to me about this mask, like this is called Unmasked, and what were the masks that you were wearing, and what was some of the liberation you found on the other side of removing them?
Depended on the day and on the mood of everyone else, because I would regulate myself to everyone else's needs. So I just became a version of me that needed to survive. So the mask would be the people-pleasing mask, the shame, but the angry guy. I could handle being the villain. Because it was always easier to sit in the pain than it was to sit in the grace.
So talk to me about that. How specifically would that show up in your relationship?
Being the
villain.
Being the villain, just always getting blamed. Everyone else's, and taking on everyone's disappointment and shame. It's like, I don't know if you know what whooping boys were back in the day. Yeah, I've always felt like that, because I wasn't strong enough to uphold my own boundaries and to speak into them and to live by them, because of the fear of being abandoned or not being given love or not given any intimacy or not being seen. So going through that process of surviving was the catalyst of who I was back then.
Paint a picture for everyone listening. I was going to say for me, but I know this story. I really just want to, I guess, give awareness to those that might be listening, so they know that you understand the world that they're inside of. What was life like? Like, what was the essence of your marriage? What was the essence of, and you just said that you wore a mask when parenting, and you were like performative parenting, like showing up to do the school stuff when you were home if you weren't on site, but not actually creating an internal safety or change so your daughter felt safe emotionally. So, if someone's listening or they want to pass this episode on to their partners so they can see themselves in your story, or maybe the wife is listening and she's like, fuck, this is exactly what my husband or my partner's like. How did that show up emotionally, like intimacy, safety? Like, what did it feel like to be this version of you 4 years ago?
Thinking back to it now, it was easy, because I could be angry and be left alone. I enjoyed isolation because it was safe. I could run from every conversation through the fear of conflict and the fear of missing out and all that stuff. It was numb. It was numbness. It was seeking validation through everything and anything to fill that cup. Work was my go-to, because work was where I felt respected. So I can't speak on to what my ex-wife and how she perceived me at the time, but with me and how I turned up was, I could honestly say, was a mirror. I was mirroring what I was receiving at the time, whether it be good or bad. Because I was always regulating myself to someone else to fill that wolf inside of me. It was always a mirror.
Yeah, I want to, I guess, start to shape the conversation towards this, because you obviously can't speak to her experience, and I'm not here to highlight anyone else's wrongdoing, but I want to sort of have the conversation around the evolution of who you were to the man that you are, and the difference in the way you've been received in different relationships. So, you know, me and my ex-marriage was the cold, closed, manipulative, controlling wife. I've lived the version of me that was afraid to be loved, that emasculated my ex-husband, because that was the only way how I knew how to stay safe, was to keep him small. So I kind of want to, like, bridge this conversation of, you did the work and you showed up reluctantly, but you still did it. I made a comment where I said, I know that you don't like to be told. So for everyone listening, men actually need an invitation, not an ultimatum. And an invitation is based around, like, come with me on this journey because I love you and I want us to grow together, versus do this because you're a piece of shit and I need you to change. They're two very different flavors of invitation to grow. And I think it's crucial to express to women, although sometimes men will just book in and do the thing because they're sick of you nagging, inspiration is way more effective than punishment or nagging or creating ultimatums. But I also want to highlight the difference in, you know, the way that I love you is completely different to my ex-husband, because I took 4 years of doing the work, healed my masculine wound, forgave the masculine, stopped needing to control. When I realized that I was controlling because I didn't feel safe, I've spent all my time and energy creating internal safety to be able to be in a relationship where I didn't need to control and actually find a man that was able to lead me, because the previous way I was looking for partnership subconsciously was, I want a man that I can control because that's how I feel safe. And I want to highlight, I guess, as we unravel your story a bit more, the difference between receiving, I guess, conditional love, where a woman, because of her pain, like everyone is just wounded little boys and girls walking around, couldn't actually make space for you to step into the leader. Because this was also my experience, you know, when I started healing, when I was still with my ex-husband, it's like I woke up one day and I was like, cool, I've decided I'm going to be more feminine. And everyone threw around this word about being more feminine and that the masculine needs to leave. And if your partner's not leading, then he's not masculine and he can't lead you. But for 10 years, I'd taught my ex-husband basically that it was not safe for him to lead, because every time he did, I would like take him out at the knees and tell him he was doing it wrong. And I really want to bring awareness to, like what it's been like for you to receive different versions of love or different versions of relationship, and how one created masking and one's created I won't put words in your mouth. I'm trying not to like tell you how I want this to go, but almost like how you show up in relationship with me versus how in any relationship in the past that you've showed up in, the difference between receiving a woman's nurturing versus receiving a woman's pain.
Yeah. Receiving the pain was always, and like through doing the work and understanding that the pain that any woman that I've been with in the past was before me. So everything that had caused their pain before me, I was the one that was going to wear the pain from everyone else's wounds. It wasn't fear, but I didn't see it. I didn't know it. I wasn't clued on to know that, hold up, this is your projection. This is based on your wounds that you have received over the past years. Why am I being the whipping boy for someone else's wounds, kind of thing? But not having that level of understanding was, okay, so I'm the bad guy and it's my fault. It was the lack of boundaries for me, more so. That the whole mother wound, abandonment and shame was like, that was my biggest red flag that I couldn't see. was, so because of my lack of boundaries and all that stuff, I had attracted women who were very masculine and very controlling and needed to have things a certain way to keep them safe. I wasn't safe. I wasn't stepping into that part of me that could make them safe because I was too worried about what can I get from this relationship as opposed to what can I give. So now flip the script. I'm in a relationship to what can I give. I'm not worried about what I can get. I'm more so worried about how do I show up on a day-to-day basis for yourself, for the kids, and for even for my community of men that I'm with. It's about the giving. The receiving is just a byproduct of how that's going to come about. It's not up to me. In the matrix in business, it's financially. But in this world of coaching and men's work and couples work and all that stuff, it's just the purpose that we live by. So receiving transactional types of relationships, a very businessy kind of thing. And that's what we ended up being. My ex-wife and I ended up being business partners, and the household was the company. It was like sleeping in other rooms, in different rooms, because my snoring. Was it about my snoring? I don't know. I don't care because that past has moved on. I've moved on past that stuff. But being able to see the relationship for what it was a transactional business relationship where my wounds, her wounds were never healed. And when we came together, it was just fire and fire. She wanted to lead. I wanted to be the leader. She wanted to lead as well because I had already established that I was an unsafe version for her to lead and soften. But for her to kind of give control to me to lead the way she wanted to be led, or she felt safe to be led, the healing needs to happen on her side and mine.
Quick pause. Are these conversations resonating with you? Do you finally feel seen in your business journey? This is the entire mission of Unmasked Founders. To strip back the highlight reel and tell the raw truth about multi, 6 and 7-figure success. We're here for the emotional costs, the days you want to quit, and the breakthroughs that follow. And we can bring you these essential conversations thanks to the support of our incredible partners, Cacao Collective and the OE Agency. These are the businesses who empower founders to keep going, providing the systems and the professional polish you need when you're busy navigating the emotional storm. If you love what you're hearing, don't miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button right now and check out Cacao Collective and the OE Agency in the show notes. Now, let's get back to it.
Yeah. I will say, like, with all the work that I've done, like, in my view and my teacher's view and everyone that's in this work, the woman actually goes first. More so I want to bring that up because for anyone listening that's like, fuck, I'm the controlling one. God, my relationship is like a business transaction, that might be feeling shame or embarrassment or like a trigger right now. I was the woman that controlled everything, and then I did the work to let go of that control to call in the relationship, which is a man that leads in everything. But I would love for you to highlight, so for those listening that are like, fuck, this is a bit confronting, I was you. Laki was the man that was a people pleaser and he wasn't the leader, and we've separately done our work and come together and continued to do the work. And I want to talk to this continuing to do the work piece of what's it like for you growing and stepping more into your purpose inside of the nurture piece that I mentioned before. Like, how is it different to you to receive like an outpouring of love? Like, there's no condition on I love. I'm not like, I'm giving you this or I'm loving this because of this. It's just like, well, this is how I want to give my love to you, and I hope you can receive it, which you can. But it's never been like I've never been afraid to show you the depths of my capacity to love because I can hold myself in it. And it's just been an invitation for you to keep meeting me in that and meeting me in what's possible when we do grow in that direction.
Yeah. The receiving of love where it's not laced or hooked with any backdoor intentions kind of stuff. It's liberating. It's like I get to dream and I get to live that dream, and I get to like move through that dream and purpose, and like visualizing what our future now looks like on the basis of how you breathe life into what I do. The belief system that you see or that you have to like really like charge me up. It's like you're the battery that charges me up to go out and hunt for opportunity, for bigger and better life for us. It's uncanny. It's coming from a place of purity. It's not, nothing has been created out of scarcity. Nothing has been created out of fear. And it's been the essence of what we are doing, both for men coaching, couples, and even business, is all pure. There's no hooks, no nothing behind it. The intention is 100% aligned with what our values are and how we see ourselves moving forward in the world, and how we want that to reflect back to the kids. So it's just like, to be honest, it's fucking epic. It's unheard of. And when you first started pouring this into me, I had done the work, but I hadn't done the work to receive and hold it. That was the scariest thing. I was like, there's parts of me that used to think early in the relationship, and it's like, fuck, it's easy, just be angry at me. Like, just be angry at me. I can handle anger, but I can't handle it because it's like that part of me where I feel shame. I also feel the need to be punished. So I need you to withhold your love to punish me so I feel better about myself. But no, you keep giving it. And I was like, oh, fuck, what do I do? It's like, what do you mean you're going to give love with no expectation? What do you mean you still love me even though you're angry or I've done something wrong?
Yeah, I want to talk to this piece, and this is almost advanced relating techniques. So again, like, bear with us. And if you have any questions, please reach out to either of us in the DMs, or, come to one of our retreats, or jump into any of the coaching that we do. But in the work that we do, and in the work that I've done, and in the work that I take women through, and I touched on this before, when what I did in my old marriage when I started to learn this work was like almost like booby trap my expectation. Like, I'm going to ask you to do something, but in my mind, I've already decided that you're not going to do it as good as me or better than me, especially if we're very capable women. So one of my biggest lessons was just because I can doesn't mean I should. And like removing my need for it to be done my way, because you do it better 9 times out of 10, but it's like this control piece that, especially if you're born not trusting the world or don't trust the world through trauma, it's like, I'm going to give you this to complete, but in my mind, I've already decided you're not going to, and I'm going to wait until you fuck it up or don't do it. Maybe you do it 8 out of 10, but I want it a 10 out of 10, and then I'm going to tell you all the ways that you didn't do it properly. So there's a few things that's happening inside of that. I'm emasculating you. I'm saying, I want you to lead, but I also need you to know you don't do it as good as me, and I'm better than you, and I can lead better than you. It's like, you said this to me once. It was like always feeling like you were in competition inside your relationship. Like, and when you said that, I was like, fuck, I used to be exactly the same. It's like the part of me that wants to be the best also wants to be the best against you. And what's happening is, so we all are actually masculine and feminine, and this is, again, very technical work, but like alpha and omega. So I have an alpha pole, a masculine pole, and omega, a feminine pole. To actually call in a relationship like ours, me as the woman needed to actually get in right relationship or better relationship with my internal masculine pole. So I have a strong masculine. It's how I've built big companies. It's how I achieve what I achieve, because I have a relationship with my masculine where he's badass. He'll like get shit done. But what happens subconsciously, if you don't unaware of this work, is my alpha goes to war with yours. And I'm constantly, it's like a dick swinging contest with your partner. Like, who wants to be in a dick swinging contest with their wife? And this is what happens, because it's like the high achiever in me wants to dethrone the high achiever in you. And you're constantly battling each other for this like position. So what I would do and what I witness is like, I want you to lead, but actually my internal masculine is trying to be in competition with yours to prove to you that I'm better than you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wanted to bring awareness to that because I see it so often. And the responsibility on the woman, in my view, is to be in such like close proximity to your internal dialogue and world that you can see and understand when that happens. The secondary thing that happens, which you just spoke to, is if you then drop the ball, and you will, and men will, and they do, because what you were trying to prove was, see, you can't trust me and I'm not good enough. And if I fuck up here, I'm going to get punished. And like these stories that I've been told for the past, 40 years of your life or whatever, it's like we're going to reinforce these stories.
Yeah.
And your little boy gets to say, see, I told you I wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest wounds for men is the unworthiness, whether it comes from the mother, whether it comes from the woman that broke your heart, whether it comes from the father. It's that wound of I'm not worthy, punish me, because that's what used to happen in the past. So that's unworthiness and shame is one of the biggest wounds that men carry around a lot, and they can take it and sit in it a lot longer than they can then receiving love, because it was so conditioned to you fucked up, now you got to pay the price and sit in it and wear all the pain / venom that comes our way and just be happy with it. It's just part of being a man.
Yeah, and I think this is why, in my view, it's so crucial for both parties to do the work, because if I sat here as a woman with this like entitlement to you doing the work and becoming the leader, I wouldn't have the awareness that this relationship needed to be able to witness those patterns in you and not react to them. Because I could have very well gone, fuck you, I told you couldn't hold me, versus, hey, I noticed that perhaps there was some patterning and self-sabotaging playing out, and I love you and I'm going to give you space to do better tomorrow. And that's in the beginning what was hard for you to receive. And like you said, you wanted to then be punished, and I wouldn't punish you and you'd be like, what? Not consciously, but your internal dialogue. And I like, because I'd done the work, I could witness it. And we had that conversation and I was like, because you would withdraw love subconsciously, like not from me. I think you just wanted to hide from the shame.
It's the little boy that was brought up through the conditioning of being punished. It wasn't the man that's sitting here in front of you. It was the little boy, the wounded little boy that needed to be, okay, I now need you to hit me to show me that I've done wrong because I registered to physical violence or anything like that. So, the capacity to receive love for a lot of men is a bit harder than it is to sit in the pain of everyone else's story.
I think it's crucial for anyone that is like, oh, wow, this is resonating, to be like, what am I doing to hold what the relationship needs for growth? Because your relationship's a reflection of your internal relationship. Like, I truly believe we have so much harmony in our relationship because we're both doing the work individually and then we come together. I want to pivot a little here and talk to like what it's like as an entrepreneur to be in a relationship, and we call it ground zero, like a relationship that has those foundations where you're on the same team. And, we're both doing the work and like doing it as a couple, doing it individually, and both growing 2 businesses, maybe 3. But like how that supports who you are as a man, how you show up for everyone in your life and your businesses. Like what impact does actually having a same team relationship have on your capacity, your purpose, your vision, your mission, and everything that you're doing?
That's the forming foundations of everything, having this ground zero to build what we're currently building, to have the capacity to hold each other and remember that we're not robots, and understanding that the way you build your businesses is really pulling the masculine side of you online. So even though I'm out at work doing whatever I need to do to hold up my end of what businesses I'm building, and then coming back home and trying not to see you in your alpha, but it's like be that space where I can, okay, sweet, she's just done a whole day of fucking hustling and I want her to melt through my presence and all that stuff and being available. So when I come in, I'm going to be like, okay, baby, this is what we're doing, X, Y, and Z, to remove the ability of you having any thought. Because like you mentioned today, last night we had friends with dinner, like the thinking part is the masculine. And as much as when I say, what do you want to eat? You say you don't know. Is that it's not so much you don't know, it's so much you don't want to make a decision.
Yes, say that louder.
It's, you don't want to make a decision. You just want the man to make a decision. But when the man says, but what do you want to eat? And you say, you don't know. It's just like, just take the fucking lead and say, okay, we're going to have X, Y, Z. I know you as my wife, you like this, that, or the other. So out of these three foods and stuff, I can't fucking go wrong. So we're going to have this.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, I have dinner sorted for us because it's one of my love languages to you. Even after a long day, I'm like, baby, I've got dinner. I love you. Like, I got you. But yeah, I love that. And we have this conversation. It's like, I don't want to think anymore. I want you to do all the thinking. Like, just tell me what to do. This is, for me, and what you just spoke to, it's like I get to be the boss babe. You also low-key love my boss babe, but I get to be the boss babe, but we have energetic agility.
Yeah.
So I don't need to hold that when you come home. There's moments like right now I'm in alpha. I'm leading. I have to be. I'm like curating something, and we'll let go of this once this podcast is over. Similar to me being in boss babe all day, and you come home and I'm like, cool, I don't want to. And it's like, that's probably been the biggest muscle to work, I think, for us, is like the dance between how capable I am versus my complete desire to not be, and creating space for you to hold that for me. And my awareness too, because, and we've had these conversations where it's like the days where I want to be rescued versus helping you access my softness. And again, there's like responsibility on both parties to have awareness around how we're showing up energetically in relationship.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's one of the biggest things, is to be able to walk through the door at the end of a big day and just check in to see where we're at. What are you going through? How can I help? What do you need? I think that was one of the biggest things that you've taught me over time. That one question is, what do you need? And it really speaks to like the depth of, it's a really deep question when asked with the right intent, because the person who's on the other end of receiving that, what do you need, allows them to actually like look past the surface level need that they think they need. And really drop in and feel it. So I just need space. I've had a long day. I need space and time out for 5-10 minutes. And it's funny enough, because when I say, which I haven't yet, but if I was to say I need 5 or 10 minutes just to decompress, 2 minutes is done. It's that safe environment to know that I have space to decompress with no judgment other than curiosity.
Yeah, I want to touch on this because sometimes that question can come from a place of like if I didn't know myself, and if we didn't, we do practice at least 3 nights a week, like if there wasn't emotional, energetic cleanliness in our relationship, that what do you need question could harbor resentment. And I wanted to touch on this because I fill my cup before yours always. And one of the first things I said to you was, I don't want you to love me if you don't love you first. And in my view, this is why our relationship works so well, because we're not loving from like self-abandonment. We're loving from the self first, and from there we make decisions. And why I wanted to bring this up is because I imagined like women, when I first start coaching them, if they ask that question of their husband and their husband just started to be like, oh, thank fuck, this is everything I need help with. But that woman for the past 6 months felt like she hadn't been seen or heard or loved or supported or fucked, I'm going to say it. Asking that question would harbor more resentment inside of the relationship. Where because we do an I feel practice 3 nights a week, something that we take all of our couples through, we like clear the cobwebs. So if I was already feeling like you weren't supporting me or giving me attention or loving me or seeing me or whatever it is, we have that opportunity to clean that up so it doesn't affect our day-to-day. Yeah. So when you walk in the door or I see that you're having a hard moment and I say, what do you need? I say it with so much cleanliness because if you said, I need these 5 things, there's no resentment inside of me to give you those 5 things. However, if I didn't know how to ask you for what I needed when I needed support from you, or ask you to be like, babe, I've actually had a really full week and I don't want to think for this whole entire weekend. I need you to look after this, this, and this. And, you know, I'm just going to go lay naked in the sun. And if we didn't have those conversations constantly, and if I didn't know how to ask for my needs to be met, I couldn't hold that for you because I would have resentment. I'd be like, here's me fucking giving this man everything he wants again, and he couldn't even take the trash cans out last week. Like,
but it's not about the trash cans.
It's never about the trash cans.
It's all about being seen, and like, it's not a transactional thing, it's a self-serving thing, because any man or woman will understand that any question, when it's pure, they will feel energetically, they will feel through the words, what do you need? That how pure those words are. But then when you say it from like, let me summon this up. What do you need? That comes laced with hooks. It comes laced with resentment. It comes laced with, here we go again. I'm giving, and I'm not getting anything. But it's that expectation that I'm doing this so you can do it back to me. But it has to be pure. It needs to be pure, because if you were to hear that, you're just like, oh, fuck, he's going through the motions. Yeah. He's laced this with resentment and payback. He's put credit on, he's put interest on what he's giving me. It's a very interesting part to that fact when those words are delivered to the other person with the hooks.
But I think because we both know how to communicate our needs before every day, not even just in that moment. I had a giggle then because I saw you flinch when I poured my own water. Normally I don't pour my own water, and I just don't. Yeah, so for me it's like the awareness that relationship and that conversation and that level of devotion can only come if you're both willing to actually ask for your needs to be met in every moment. And for the women that are in my world, that's oftentimes the biggest work and the first work we need to do, because we always build it's like we get mad at people because they don't meet us in a place we haven't actually asked them to meet us in. It's like we want, especially as women, we want men to read our minds. Like, he should have just known that I was holding everything and that I was tired and overworked, and he should have just been able to know that these are all the things that I needed. Yeah.
Those are called, what I believe, I've heard it somewhere, those are called the silent contracts. It's the contract that you've given me, but you haven't shown me, that you've made me sign without knowing what's fucking on them.
Yes.
I want you to, random example, but I want you to greet me at the door with a plate of steaks, chips, a little bit of salad, naked. So that is
when?
Hold. So that is the silent contract that I've got in my mind. And then when I come home and you haven't done any of that because you haven't seen the writing, you haven't signed the contract, and then I start losing my shit, it's like you're standing there, what the hell do you want? Yeah, that was probably the worst example because now you want to give it.
Where do I sign the contract?
But it's that the uncommunicated expectation that we put onto the other person,
Yes.
man or woman. It doesn't matter, but it's the expectation where I need you to follow my lead. And don't question what I'm going to do and all that stuff. But at the same time, what the fuck have I done to allow you to feel safe to follow my lead and all of this? That's the silent contract from the man.
Yes. I want to touch to this because, this is such a dance. It's such a nuanced part of letting your man lead, especially when there's been wounding. So I do want to voice that in a new relationship without all the wounds of the past, I do feel there is the potential for the foundations to be set a little easier because you're not layering it on top of wounds in this relationship. Wounds in other relationships you're layering it on top of and expectations of other relationships. But I want to talk to this piece because I think it's so crucial to understand. It's like me when I went to my ex-husband and decided him to wake up one day and be masculine, even though I taught him for 10 years to be feminine, and then getting mad at him without having a conversation, getting mad at him because he couldn't read my fucking mind and realize that I wanted him to take control and constantly was just holding him accountable to a contract he never signed. But on the flip side of that is the man that goes and does a retreat and is like, right, I'm leading. I'm the man of the house. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to have more integrity and responsibility and I'm going to show up and lead more. But he's showed her for 10 years that that's not the man that he is. And a similar expectation of well, I'm just going to command you to let me lead you now without doing any of the foundational work to create safety. And of course, the nervous system of that woman, the belief system of that woman is going to be I don't trust you because every time I've trusted you in the past, you have shown me time and time again that you're going to let me down. Yeah. So to that man, and then I'll speak to the woman, how do they need to approach it? If a man's listening to this and he comes to our retreat or he goes to your winter retreat and then he's yes, I've done one men's circle and now I'm going to lead my wife. How does he build the foundations and how does he align his expectations so that he can create the safety?
It's a slow process and he has to be able to have the stamina to endure the kickback, the question, have the humility to feel her pain. 10 years, whatever, how many years of pain that the man has inflicted on her for not and creating this version of her that needed to survive. So when I have created a version of a woman to survive in my presence over 10 however many long years, then I have to slowly chip away to gain back her safety. And it's not going to be, and this is where a little bit of knowledge can be dangerous. I went to a retreat. I sat with the men in my circle. I'm doing the XYZ and all that stuff. But to know all of this consciously is different to actually feel it within the body. Because the woman won't know what's going on in your mind. They will feel everything coming through your body, through your words, through your actions that you're gonna start showing her. I'm gonna start leading now. I'm gonna start being masculine. Okay, cool. Let's see. So she, in her safety, her nervous system and her protection mode will be waiting for the trip up. But then when the trip up does happen, we'll be waiting for the response and the reaction of that trip up. How do you show up when you're fucked up and she calls you out on it? In the past, you got angry, you deflected, maybe a little bit of gaslighting in there, whatever it did to help you survive, as opposed to are you going to sit there and own your shit and show her the humility and see her through this? Because it's those little micro moments that she's going to say, fuck, I think you can do it. And I'm going to start softening to this to allow him, I'm bringing fire, I'm bringing pain, I'm bringing the fucking storm. and you're sitting there, you're holding it and owning that shit and allowing to see her through her pain, then she's like, he hasn't moved. Ooh, he hasn't budged. Oh, he's not fucking fighting. It's like, what's this? What's going on there? Then her nervous system was fucking rattled because she wants that fight. She needs that fight to justify her story in her mind that you're still not safe. But once you create that safety for her, that's when the softening comes. But it is something that needs to happen time and time through different scenarios of your life. Once you start building better, is to reassure the safety. You are safe here. I see you. I love you. You are safe here.
And the only way, in my view, for that to work is if the woman's ready to do the work to receive the transformation. Because
if she's living in resentment, and she can't see past her resentment, past her pain, to see the new you that wants to fix things and stuff, she will never see you. And if we really go real woo on this stuff, that's when the frequencies have changed.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk to this as well. I'm going to give an example of our big trigger the other day, because there was a moment where I felt dropped. We were both in a really big trigger, and I'd stopped listening to your words, and I needed your actions to align. But when we moved through the trigger and you were showing me the change that you'd implemented, I actually then needed to do the emotional alchemy and the work with myself to let go of any like fragments of resentment. So what I see happen in women is they won't let go of the one time that you fucked up, and that means they won't, or maybe it was 10 times, but they're not willing to let go of this story or this pain or like this version of you, because then they would have to do their work to make space for the changed version of you. And so in very real time, this was happening for us. And this was probably one of our biggest, I don't even call them fights. They're like tension points in our relationship. And I literally got to witness in real time that if I wasn't willing to like create space for you to be human, because you are literally just a human man with your own wounds and your own stories and your own patterns, and if it was almost like I had two choices. I could hold on to my resentment and just decide that you were never going to be able to hold me in this pain, or I could find all of the resentment and story that I was making about the man that I was like making you out to be in that moment and feel it in my body and dissolve it. So like in a very real time, that looked like rage work, like getting really angry, like screaming and yelling and swearing and like expressing the pain that I felt. And letting all the emotion I was feeling, including the anger, which is often an emotion that we're told isn't welcome in relationship or for women specifically, and actually let that emotion be expressed, not on you. Not once did I like swear at you. No, I don't think. I was like, did I? No, it was like pretty intense in some moments, but I held the venom because I have enough awareness to be like, I'm in chaos and I'm in a lot of anger. And there was a part of me that wanted to lash out at you and be like, fuck you. And that doesn't serve the relationship. And in my view, that's what damages the relationship. When I can't hold the venom versus the pain, which we speak about. And venom is like the projection of I'm making my experience mean something more than what's actually happening based on the story I'm saying about how you are or aren't showing up for me in that moment.
Yeah, so you can give an example of what venom is. You're just like your father.
Yes.
You're not man enough. You're a fucking dumbass. It's all those are the words that are intentionally brought up to pierce his fucking soul.
Yes.
Well, not just his, but hers as well. But to pierce the soul of the other person that you're showing their pain. That is the venom that will last forever.
To me, it's the expression of I'm in pain and I want you to feel it. So I'm going to use whatever I can in my arsenal to make you feel the pain that I'm feeling.
And this is the part where everything vulnerable that has been shared between the two parties
becomes weaponized,
is being turned around and like shot through as an arrow. So here's the arrow of the shame that you see that plays that you feel vulnerable, that the vulnerable part of you that told me that your biggest wound is shame. because of your father. See, you're just like your father, and bang. Those are the things. It's very hard to come back from when those venomous points, darts or arrows are thrown at the other person.
Yeah. And I could feel the parts of me that wanted to, because it's like the 4-year-old that just wants everyone to be in the pain that she's in.
Burn everything down.
But literally, it's the chaos of the, like, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. So firstly, that takes actually a lot of skill, like to hold the feeling. And I was angry, like the angriest I've been. And everything I expressed to you that day was, I'm fucking angry at you. Like, I'm angry at you. But in the awareness that I have and the work that we've done together and the work that I've done, it's like, well, I could hold on to this story and just decide that you're never going to be able to hold me in this pain, and that like almost like predict the future of, like, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or I could be like, all right, the man dropped the ball. It felt pretty fucking big, but I don't want to hold this. I don't want to hold this story. I don't want to like crucify the man based on one experience. So then inside of that, I take the responsibility of like, okay, what needs to alchemize here? And I'll always do it first, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, before I bring it to practice. So I will be in the experience of expressing my rage and finding what I feel inside of me and neutralizing it as much as I can on my own. And then I'll bring it to you so there's less charge and probably less like desire to bring the venom, because I've like neutralized it more. But I say that because what you were just speaking to is only possible. The man creating safety is only possible if the woman on the other side is willing to receive his transformation and be in it with him. And this, in my view, is why a lot of relationships don't work, because only one party opts in. You know, being in a relationship for a year and being the one doing the work, because you also can't wake up one day and just change your values and who you are as a person and then expect the other person to get on board straight away. You do need to be like, whether it's the man or the woman, like give it time, not push your new beliefs onto the person you love, and giving them space to sort of catch up, and having some, not avoiding difficult conversations, but having some conversations around, hey, perhaps I used to show up like this, or perhaps this was my value before and I've realized I don't want that anymore. And this is the version of me I'm asking you to love today. Like, to me, love is like choosing the person every day and choosing the new version of them that's sitting in front of you. It's not about, we just recently got married. You'll marry 10 different versions of me, I'm sure, but before we die. And that's what it is for me. Like, I choose to choose you every day and to opt into this and whatever it is asking of us in that evolution.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one of the biggest things for the both of us is that curiosity always comes before judgment. And when you're curious about your partner, it's such a great tool to have, to ask curious questions. But it needs to come from a place of curiosity and not from a place of blame. So if I'm feeling down and out about something, the questions you ask are based on you're curious to understand where it's coming from, to almost, does it link to a thread that links to a bigger picture down the track from something that I know that you haven't healed, or something that you've been working on lately and all that stuff. But having that curiosity to see where the pain comes from, as opposed to fixing or trying to shut down that pain point, or whatever it is you're being curious about.
What do you think the benefit is to entrepreneurs to doing the work on their relationship?
There's no one else but you and your partner. If you are in a relationship and you're both an entrepreneur, or one's an entrepreneur, the other one works in the matrix, it's having that grace to see the grind is real for both the matrix and being an entrepreneur. And ground zero, your relationship needs to be on point in regards to what the foundations are, because you can lose yourself in the grind and the hustle. But also, if you're a woman, that masculine part of you that's always hustling, the boss babe part of you, needs a place to land. And if the man can't hold that safety net for you for when you need to land and all that stuff, then it's going to be hard.
What's the difference for you in building now in a relationship where we invest in our relationship and we've got coaches and mentors versus trying to build a business when you felt like you were fighting your partner constantly or you weren't on the same team?
It is literally pure survival.
The previous version, I'm assuming.
Yeah. When you're building it by yourself and there's no same team, no ground zero for you and your partner, you're building out of survival. You're building out of fear, and something that has been built out of survival and fear doesn't really last that long because the foundations can't hold it. And like, we all need support. We all need to be seen. Yeah, that's my biggest thing is that you go into survival mode just to keep your head above water if you're doing it by yourself. And if I start seeing you, like the beauty of our relationship is that if you ever go into survival mode and all that stuff, I can come and throw a lifeline in and say, okay, sweet, we got this. So I know where you are. I know where you're at. There's no blame here. There's no, I told you so, blah, blah, like you shouldn't have managed it. It is literally, fuck, sweet. What do we need to get out of here? Same team. But when it's one person building, one person doing the work, and the other person has fucking the front row seats as a spectator to your sink or swim type of business that you're building as an entrepreneur, I'm like, that's hard.
For me, I'm like, building a business is hard enough. I said to you, so I couldn't imagine doing this and not feeling supported by my partner. Yeah, like in my view, like whether the women that I support that I see who have partners that aren't taking their 100% of the weight in the relationship, I'm like, that would be fucking exhausting. Like, it is exhausting building the businesses we're building and then to not be supported in that. And also, I think there's almost an illusion, well, I'm focusing on building the business, I'm just going to ignore the relationship and sort it out later. But that's why most people get divorced, because they didn't spend the time to build the right foundations in their business, to invest in their relationship. So everything was growing in harmony.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, you can't afford not to. And I truly am like, how the fuck do people survive inside of dysfunctional or like shallow relationships? Like, I need you sometimes. I'm like, I just need you.
I think that's when it turns transactional. And the person who's doing the work but not receiving the support, the spectator, is basically there to see you make it and collect in on the winnings.
What can I get from this?
Or to see you swim to say, I told you so. Like, and that's pretty shit. Like, whether you're building in the matrix or you're building both kind of thing, that support system needs to be fucking strong and firm. And fucking, like, as men, we love building. So men, if you're out there listening, like, build that safety net, that foundation where your woman can come out of alpha mode and thinking mode, masculine thinking mode, and making decisions, and just give her a landing pad where she go, okay, babe, fucking well done for the week and all that stuff. If you need to melt for the next 2-3 days, whether it be massage or by yourself and stuff, I'm taking the kids out for a random 2-day camping trip. Be at home, be yourself, see your girlfriends and all that stuff. Don't think. Like, it's just literally giving them that landing pad to be safe and feel safe. And if you've only just started doing the work, these are the things that you just kind of have to reassure that it is safe to be fully in what she wants to be in. Wherever you are, there's always men circles. There's not for everyone, but I welcome everyone to a discovery call to see if I'm the right fit and where I can guide you. I'm not a fan of gatekeeping my type of coaching or the men's stuff, the couple stuff, and relationship stuff. Like, if you're out of my frequency and all that stuff, I'll always usher you out. It's like, you don't look for, it's just the way I am. And I believe there's a lot of coaches out there that think exactly the same. It's like, find the ones that you resonate with.
But how does she tell her? How does she tell him? You know, like, if you were to receive does she just send you your Instagram profile and be like, hi? Because we've had this conversation. It's like you don't want to trigger the man into comparison, or
you bring him along to a combined retreats that we have.
Yes.
And from there, he gets to experience me.
Yeah.
And then we get to talking, and I said, well, I think you might be better off with this guy, but we can give this a go. Check out this guy and his circle, his coaching and all that stuff, because it we can really resonate. Like when this is the couples retreat stuff that we do. That's the love. Being led by love.
And it's, the way that we do our couple retreats is half day, or the day retreats is half day you with the men, half day me with the women, and then half day of actually creating those practices and intimacy foundations of a relationship. And for me, the invitation would be, babe, I really want to do this and I'd love for you to do it with me. Not I need you to do this, or if you don't do this, it's hey, I came across this couple. Like, I've listened to Leslie's podcast. I really love what she talks about when it comes to business. If you want to check them out, maybe listen to the podcast, like everything invitational. And
at the same time, it's like, don't say that you would resonate with this guy. Because the first thing you're going to do, you're putting him on the spotlight, and then you're putting me up here and you're putting him up here and you're comparing me to him. And it's like, lead him with love. And it's like, I really resonate with Leslie and all this stuff, the work that they're doing, like listen to it and see where you go. The moment you say you should listen to this guy, or you need coaching from this guy, he'll just withdraw and say, why, what about this guy that you like? It's that the first instinct is the comparison. Or
where am I not good enough?
Yeah, where am I not good enough? Am I not worthy enough? Do I have to be like him in order for you to fuck me?
Yeah.
So be very mindful in how you not sell it, but direct, because you're leading.
And I'm going to say done is better than perfect. So take on our advice, but we can help you with the languaging later.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just the invitation and doing the work yourself. I don't have a women's retreat yet. I will have a women's retreat coming up, but I would love for you to share with everyone about disruption of man and what that is. And if there is men listening, or they've shared this and they're listening to the podcast, what is that and how can men get involved?
Disruption of man is going to be the first of its kind happening this year. It's happening in August 13, 14, 15 and 16, and it will happen every year after that. That is going to be the highlight of men's work here in Perth, Western Australia, to say that there's a point in time every year where men get to be part of a brotherhood. They get to experience surface level initiations. The work is deep, so you're not going to get, I can guarantee you'll learn something for that weekend retreat. There's no phones, there's no judgment. It's just out bush, men just being men, getting together and doing, well, I've got the landing page and all that stuff, but it's just doing things that really provoke and disrupt the old patterns and old stories. So if you feel like there's something deeper to your life and purpose and all that stuff, and you haven't really done this work, this is the type of retreat for you. If you don't want TikTok or Instagram or Facebook raising your kids because you as a father is not present because you're too busy going through the motions, then this is the type of retreat for you. One of my biggest takeaways is knowing that I have a 12-year-old daughter, and knowing that I need to become the man that she is proud of. So when she gets married 10, 15 years down the track, I'm the man that walks her down, and not another man because I wasn't able to turn up for her.
And we have our couples retreat coming up. So that's going to be in like a week by the time this has been released. So you need to jump on it really quickly. We will be holding them again, but this is our first round. So it's at a very affordable price. So if you're listening and you're like, yes, we need this, jump on board. It's April 19th. And then you can obviously work with us both individually in a business and relationship capacity, or we have a new program coming up in the next couple of weeks, which will be couples coaching. So keep an eye on our pages for that. But thank you very much for sharing some of your story and yourself with me and my listeners today.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you for listening to Unmasked Founders with me, Leslie Kay. Follow Leslie Kay on social media for more insights, and we'll see you in the next episode. You can find me at Leslie with a Z, Kaye. Check the show notes for how to spell my name. Remember, true success is built from the inside out.